I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please.
Wazowski,
Here.
Clark, Fredericks,
Yep.
Height,
Here.
Lindman,
Here.
Newman,
Here.
Schneider, Thorne,
Here.
Weber.
Motion to excuse Weber, Snyder, Clark, and anybody else that did not say here.
Okay, we've got a motion by Thorne,
I'll second.
second by Lindman, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Okay, that brings us to approval of the agenda. Don't see any changes.
I'll move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Second.
All right, motion by Lindman, second by Thorne, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And that also brings us to approval of the minutes from February 27th, 25. I didn't have anything
I
personally.
didn't see anything.
No, that's fine.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from February 27th.
Okay, motion by Newman, second.
Thorne.
Second by Thorne, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, okay. That brings us to public hearing.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for amendment to zoning ordinance daycare educational school use in RM1.
I second.
Okay, motion by Lindman, second by Thorne, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so in your packet, you should have found a very excellently written update to allow the child care centers to be, incorporated with an existing building, following the rules that have already been set, looked pretty good to me. I don't know if you guys had anything you wanted to change or include. We could get Shayna to give us a little info about all the hard work you've done.
So this is the same proposal as we saw 2 meetings ago. The only difference is, on page 3, if you're looking at it, page 3 of our document, we outlined the conditions, the standards that the child care centers would be, would adhere to. We had 11, we agreed as a group to remove the one that was about floor area. We had thrown in something like, they can only have 25, 50, what's the number? You guys were like, we don't really care how much of the floor area they have. So we went from 11 conditional standards to 10. So that's the difference. That's all we got. And, yeah, we're here for the public hearing.
I did have one thing on page 5, first paragraph, 4th line down. It includes a facility which provides care for not less than 2 consecutive weeks. I was having trouble understanding that sentence.
Sure, and I can say up front that this language was taken from, it was like pieced together from the state law, and then
Gotcha.
what the other communities were saying. It was basically the state law language for a child care daycare center. The way I would read that is 2 consecutive weeks. I guess we could question whether that means every day of that week.
Right.
Was that one of the things you were wondering?
Well, I couldn't figure, I read everything, and everything, like I said, fantastically well done and all nicely put together, but I got to that part, and I read it again, and I read it like a 3rd time, and then what I found is anytime you have to keep reading something like that, and I still don't understand what the line is trying to say, I thought, well, geez, isn't there some way we could rewrite that so it's not so legal jargony? And is it trying to say that, okay, when there's the parents aren't available for kids under age for less than 24 hours a day, where the parents and guardians are not immediately available to the child, includes a facility which provides care for not less than 2 consecutive weeks. So are they saying not less? So that means more than 2 consecutive weeks?
At least, I guess you would say.
So could we put in more instead of not less than 2 consecutive weeks, and it would still function properly? Say the same thing, just not,
Less confusing.
yeah.
I mean, I don't see why we couldn't.
Or do we have to rework it all and everyone approve it again?
That's my only concern.
All right, then leave it.
Not less
That's-
equals more.
Yeah, I mean, it still reads and people can figure it out. I just
And
was like stumbling
I
on
will
it.
say, I agree that in general, this is a long definition, right?
Right.
And that was what I was thinking to myself. I think that, one of the things that Sally and I were thinking was that, if this were to be challenged in court for any reason, your language matches what the state is saying.
Yeah.
So then,
Okay.
that helps.
I have two things I'd like to say. Not less is not the same as more.
True.
Yes, and I recognize that.
And second of
but,
all, are we still open to the public?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing now? I mean,
Yes, because we have public present that may want to speak.
okay, I just did, it seemed like we were doing like a board rather than public.
Yes, just please state your name and
Step up to the,
address.
My name is Laura Plasty. I'm here on behalf of Behavior for All. When I spoke to the church council about the proposed language, they read it as excluding events like Vacation Bible School that happen for a consecutive week and then is dismantled. So in their mind, those events that are, the week of Christmas, they may have childcare, but it didn't fall under childcare law because it wasn't continuous care provided by the professionals who are under this language. So the conversation you guys had about this language, I
Right.
happen to have had it on Monday.
That's okay, and that's why it's there, and I do agree with Shayna about matching the state law
Yeah.
on it and not changing it.
I agree.
But thank you for explaining.
Yeah, no.
Okey doke, so now, unless anybody has anything else, we could hear a motion to close to the public.
a motion to close to the public.
Alrighty, motion by Thorne, second
I'll second.
by Brzezowski, sorry, thank you. All right, so,
All in favor?
yeah, so public hearing's over. We do need a motion to,
You gotta do all in favor.
All in
oh,
favor?
I'm sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And then we are going to need a motion to send this on for
To
approval
council,
to
yeah.
council, yes.
I'll motion to send this to council to be approved.
Motion by Thorne,
I'll second.
second by Brzezowski. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Just want to be clear, you're recommending council adopt this amendment language, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Thank you, Tabitha. Okey doke, that brings us to correspondence. We have none, no call to the public. New business item 9, budget. In your packet, you should have received a budget sheet. Even after our expenses so far, we still have some reserve and everything's looking good. I looked at everything and it seems like everything on there needs to stay on there, even though I was trying to doge it and cut our costs and be efficient and everything, but I don't see anything we could really slim out.
Well, that didn't seem to make any difference.
Yeah. So unless anybody else has any comments, I would recommend we hear a motion to send this to council for approval.
Move we send the budget to council as we've approved here.
Okay, motion by Fredericks,
Second by Thorne.
second by Thorne. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okey doke. We have no pending business, we have no table business. That brings us to liaison reports. Council,
So this month, we actually had a really nice presentation from the code enforcement officer. He's been increasing the amount of detail that's been in his report. He actually had an opportunity to describe what he does in a day. We had some questions about how do you enforce lakefront properties, because obviously you can see most of the stuff from the street. So he explained more in depth too, how he works with neighbors and whatnot too. Worth watching. Quick little video. We
Yeah.
don't really get to see Bill. Usually you just see the car come by a couple times a week and that's about it. So it's a good opportunity to open that. Let's see, we did, our treasurer, Jennifer Hansen is staying on. She just resigned for another 3 years. So we're gonna keep her going with us. Let's see,
Nice.
BMX track, I don't know if you guys seen them out there. They got the bulk of it done.
Oh.
DPW still has to do like grass seed, make
Sweet.
it pretty, all that, but it's usable. Snow motor vehicles, not bikes and all that stuff, but it looks fun. I'm gonna take the kids over there.
Yeah.
Try that as well. Of course, we're working through the.
Where's that
budget
at?
now.
It's by the tennis courts,
Oh, okay.
from the Glengarry.
So, we'll check it out. Check it out. It's pretty good. So that was last month, pretty much.
Thank you for telling us about that stuff, because I didn't know about either of those things. I'm gonna check out that thing on the video and the BMX track. Thank you. That brings us to Parks and Rec.
Yep, Parks and Rec, we've been busy. We met with Chris Nordstrom, he's the landscape architect, who's kind of the park specialist at Carlisle Wortman, who helps us with our Parks and Rec master plan. So we kicked it off. We're reviewing our survey that we did 5 years ago. We're making some tweaks to update our survey, getting ready to send that all out, and get going in earnest on the Parks and Rec master plan. We had our Easter Bunny Luncheon on the 12th. It was sold out, another successful event, had some nice weather for it. Got our 5K race coming up on May 24th, and then after that is our dog show on June 21st, and we're already getting ready, planning for corn roast, believe it or not.
Wow.
And then gearing up for our soon-to-open farmer's market, so.
Yeah, that's exciting, because it's in the evening and you don't have to go at 7 in the morning.
Right.
Yeah, like the Walled Lake one.
What you gonna do on the Tuesdays?
We're gonna do it on Tuesdays, so once a month it'll coincide with the Tuesdays in the park.
But it'll be there every
But it'll be
Tuesday?
every Tuesday from June, beginning of June to the end of September.
From what time again? 7 to 9, is that what you said?
No, it's like.
5 to 7.
5
No,
to
it's-
7?
No, it's, I think.
4 maybe?
3 to 7. I
So,
believe.
okay, something like that.
3 to
Yeah, yep, that's it. So it gives people a chance to stop in after work. You know, most of them, these ones that are open during the day, by the time people get off work, they're closed, so. And, yeah, we're having a lot of success. A lot of our vendors from the corn roast have already signed up, and so we got a good number of vendors
Oh, nice.
signed up and are eager to show up there, and hopefully we'll get some customers.
And I might be able to get there when they open at 3, but not those ones that come in at like 5 and 6 in the morning.
All
By
right,
the time you
well,
get there, everything good's gone.
thanks for the excellent report there, Bri. That brings us to Parks and Rec.
No.
Oh, that was part of
I'm sorry, ZBA. Yeah.
Yeah, we've sort of been busy by not being busy. Unfortunately, no, we do have a case, but it's pending a quorum. So the past 2 meetings, unfortunately, we hadn't been able to reach that. It's a dimensional variance for the applicant who wishes to basically build a deck and encroach into the front yard setback. But yeah, we haven't been able to hear the case as of yet, so we're hoping for next month.
Okay,
We're shooting for that.
nice. All right. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate you going to that meeting and relaying the info back to us. ZBA is always interesting, there's always something going on.
Yes.
Water Management Board, Mr. Snyder is not here, so we will have to miss that
I
report.
could say one thing about that. It sure does seem like whatever they did with the geese worked, because I haven't seen any baby geese.
I'll touch into it. We're on the.
They said they
Sure.
went and did the shaking of the,
Well, they freeze them, actually. They
or
gather
whatever
them
they
and freeze
do.
them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 members out there. They got over.
I haven't
think it was
seen any, which is
87
good.
eggs they got the first round.
Wow.
And I think it was 17 nests that they destroyed too.
Holy smokes.
So they did quite a bit of work that day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's noticeable.
So yeah, that makes a difference.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, it does.
See the water member, they also got the shrink wrap recycling bags again this year.
Yeah.
Up to, they're upstairs,
Yeah.
already picked, so if you
Yeah.
haven't gotten yours yet, you
Yeah,
get it for free.
that's
And
awesome.
then they also, we have the safety fair coming up as well too. Doing the
motor
same day
safety.
with the 5K in the park. We're just gonna be off to the side a little bit, have our own little safety fair, kind
Yeah.
of 2 birds with 1 stone over there.
Well, that's a good idea, because there'll be a lot of people around for the race that can pick up on that.
Feel more foot
yeah,
traffic.
For sure. All right, thanks for the extra input. That brings us to any announcements.
Not sure it's really an announcement. One thing that, I was just out on the lake again today and saw that there's another new shed that somebody's built, pretty good sized one on the lakefront, 20 feet from their seawall. It's clearly not allowed. And I'm wondering if we need to think about whether it's an email or something on social media or something, have the administrator put something out to remind people that accessory buildings are not, or structures are not allowed on the lakefront yards, because there are quite a number of them out there, and there's another brand new one just popped up, good-sized shed that shouldn't be there, and I think people just aren't aware that that's not allowed.
Right, and so I'm not sure when the newsletter comes out, if it's not coming out soon, then an email blast might be the way to go to get people before everyone starts throwing that stuff up, like you said. Tabitha may know what the best way to go after that would be.
Paige is prepping the newsletter now.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, so if we could just put a little blurb in the newsletter, just,
Going out, we're targeting having it out in the mail end of the month, first week of May. So
Perfect.
I'll check with her and see if she has room to put in something that reminds folks. We can do an email blast, we can definitely put something on the website and our official Facebook page. So I will mention it in the office.
excellent.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good eye, Brian. Okay, we'll hear a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Thorne.
Second.
Second by Lindman. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Well, thanks for you guys taking your time.